Has this ever happened to you? Overconfident in your build so much that you think you're absolutely unstoppable. And just as when things are looking up, you're feeling good, you're ready to kill time itself. Only for time and time again to fall short. Get it? Because Kronos mopped the floor with you? Titan of time? Anyone? Whatever. Well, I'm here to help you get over that. I am the one true Sir Salty, and I'm here with some builds that could help you to push yourself further than you ever have, to save yourself a lot of time and some aggravation. So let's get right into it with 5 easy to use and fun to play builds. Can we get a drum roll, please?
Wow.
Okay, we'll call that a drum roll. So starting off is the Witch's Staff. Recently with patch 2, they have added a lot of different attack-based options, such as making your attacks faster or taking double damage and doing more damage with your attacks, but we're not going to be talking about something like that. We're focusing on some very safe, very simple gameplay, and so we're going to be focusing around your special. For those who don't have the aspects unlocked for the staffs, they work very relatively the same, but if you haven't upgraded them, then it really doesn't matter too much, and it doesn't change really too much how you play with them. Now, there definitely is some stronger boons that work way better for the specials, but you don't necessarily get them right away, such as Hera. The only other runner-up I would say that you get access to earlier is Demeter. Hera will provide you with the Hitch debuff, which shares damage between enemies that are afflicted by it, and Demeter applies freeze, both of which add special damage naturally to the special. Both are fantastic options, but right out the gate, you will have access to Zeus. Zeus might not provide you with a lot of special damage increase, but it does apply Blitz to your target. Blitz will add a debuff that allows you to, once you deal enough damage to them, they will take a burst of lightning damage. And with some Daedalus hammer upgrades, you can be shooting multiples of your special with one cast. Other hammer buffs can increase the speed of your specials and increase your special even further through Hermes. Yeah! And so your whole general build is just focus around just blasting enemies with your special, throwing in your Omega here and there, and just go to town just blasting. The recent patch did nerf the speed of the staff special, but these are some of the ways that you can kind of get around that. And then you have a lot of like auxiliary upgrades, like through Artemis. As you can see, I'm shooting out arrows with every single special I fire, as well as the Zeus Chain Lightning upgrade I just recently acquired. Giga Moonburst is also a crazy addition with the hammer buff, as you can do a 300% damage increase shot with it, which is great for proccing Blitz. And here are some other alternatives to the upgrades that you can get as well. And this was one of the builds that I focused on first when trying to go after Kronos. During his instant death mechanic, he will leave himself quite vulnerable, and as long as you have the range, you can deal a lot of damage to him for free. With a bit of practice and maybe a little bit of luck, you'll be smashing Kronos in no time.
Fatality.
Next up, we have the Sister Blades. Now, I do want to put it out there as a little bit of a warning. These are very hard to use, especially early on when you start playing. They may be fast, but they have very limited range and not as much damage as you'd like. The aspects do improve on the daggers quite drastically, but for keeping it simple, we will be talking about the aspect of Millennium, the one that you start with. Before you upgrade, you realize that it is based around attacking from the backside, which is easier said than done. You get some great attack-based hammer buffs, as well as I would recommend Demeter as your main source of attacks. There are some great Daedalus upgrades, such as Skulking Slice and Final Slice, both of which pair great together, but you're not going to probably get that in your run. If you could, I suggest bringing some rerolls just because luck's never on my side, so I can believe that sometimes it's not on your side either. And I'm truly sorry if I did hit a soft spot there. Essentially, the premise is getting behind your target using the attack Omega, freezing things, and then being able to do more backstab damage. Now, it would be great if you can just be constantly attacking and stun locking them, but it doesn't seem to work out all the time, and you're not necessarily hitting their backs all the time, so it kind of makes this aspect a little weak. Unfortunately, this is the better way to play it, as using a special build with this aspect is just not very good at all. For most of my starting runs with the dagger, I always try to use the special for just throwing daggers around and just having a good time with it, but it never seemed to just work out properly because it wasn't doing enough. But that is what the last aspect you get for it, the aspect of Pan, is for. And it just can be very hard to use melee attacks in a lot of cases. There are various bosses, such as Iris, the last boss of going the upwards path, where she tends to sit stationary for a really long time. usually in fire. It would be really great if the fire hurt her like it does us, but we're not gods, I guess, even though we are gods. But anyways, this aspect is very hard to use, not very rewarding, but it is fun to play. Pretty much thrives on always being able to get the back attack, but it's not always perfect. And the Omega attack is not very reliable, as it feels like you are able to dash in some cases, but not dash in some others. So hopefully you will get this working for you, hopefully get the right upgrades, and you won't suffer like I have. You know, maybe just have some good reaction time like I did and just decide to get shot in the face because I wanted to be put out of my misery. And here's a little showing of the aspect of pain in action. It's more special based. Anything in your cast will then let your daggers home in on it, and you will just decimate your foes so fast. And tons of great hammers for that as well. Good luck, and let those blades rip. And next up we have the Moonstone Axe in all of its glory. Recently got patched to now give attack power and more max health for the night, versus its original, which was attack recovery. Honestly, the axe is one of my favorite, and the best way to play it is really whatever you feel like, because you're mostly going to be whirlwinding. So crank up that original Beyblade song and let her rip. I'll give you a warning on a potential hammer upgrade that you might come across, Advancing Whirlwind. It's god awful and is a more of a passive style whirlwind, which is not fun really unless you get another hammer upgrade with it. So you shoot out the whirlwind in front of you and continue to spin, but as soon as you dash, the wind you just shot out will stop existing. It can be remedied by the psychic whirlwind upgrade, which allows you to do whatever you want while whirlwind is happening. You know what's better than that? Just whirlwinding in general, crushing your enemies and being close enough to attack them as well. There really is no point of shooting out your whirlwinds. Concentrated whirlwind and furies are probably one of the better upgrades, or you can go with a different style of more attack-based axe play. And generally, lots of boons work very well for the axe. Blitz is fantastic. It might not be super great at first, but it works really well. Apollo can give you more of that range they want, and as a little bit of an increase in damage as well. Now obviously Demeter and Hera work ridiculously well, as it does a massive increase for your attack damage. Might be a little slow and hard to get used to at first, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be an axe master in no time. And I found even Fire Axe to be kind of fun, but not as strong as the others, that's for sure. Regardless, whatever's on your axe, just whirlwind your hearts out and just throw caution to win and just spin to win, baby.
Yeah, boy.
Definitely some other ways you can play by having your finale attack being your only attack that you can do, which is pretty sweet. Very slow, but very sweet. With another upgrade that allows you to spend 20 magic to then deal your attack twice, which is insane burst once you start reliably landing it. Probably take a hit or two while doing it. I don't know, maybe, probably, but once you get used to it, you'll be decimating your foes left, right, and center. Aspect of Charon is also very fun to use, as it creates a very unique playstyle. Also, aspect, hell yeah. It'll make your cast last longer, and then you slam your cast using your special. It's quite a cool combo, very cost intensive, so make sure you get some mana regen. When you get Thanatos unlocked, then you can also just spin to win again. So there's that. Next we have the Umbral Flames. These dual wielding flames are just fun to use. Dance around the battlefield, shooting out fire all around you, and having a good time doing so. You're gonna have a lot of projectiles circling around you like crazy, doing tons of damage over time. The only downside is that when you use your special, you do not stagger any enemies with it. I'm sure this is the only weapon that does that in this game, which is pretty wild. Either way, you kind of dance around using your Omega special to create orbs around you, and this is for the aspect of Millennium. It's upgraded, it does make the Omega specials last longer, which is always great. And making a build focused around specials because it is the more damaging way to use this weapon. Obviously the attack is okay and all with this, but you end up channeling constantly using the attack, and it's just not very good because it does slow you down ridiculously while you're using the attack. Definitely don't use the attack based builds with this aspect in particular. The other aspects are much more suited for that. To get over this stagger thing, we will be using Demeter with this build. Bit of, icy hot action kind of going on. There you go, Todoroki. Perfect too, so you now get the freeze effect, so you actually can kind of stagger enemies. It adds more damage to your special, which is perfect. This makes the flames look pretty damn cool. Pun definitely intended. This run particularly, I got the channeled effect for the special to be cheaper and faster. Notable upgrades are also creating another orb that goes around you called Triple Helix, making them last longer. When I get in this run, it makes it so that it orbits where I fire it instead of orbiting around you, which can be useful for doing more like hit and run strategies where you dash in there, throw out the orbs a bunch, and then kind of retreat to do some attacks. Great one that has been changed recently is the Melting Coil. That's its new name. That allows you to shred armor like crazy. Before, it caused it to shoot out in a straight line, which was not very great for the special. It definitely makes it a little more useful now, especially like you're gonna get something to melt armor. Like that should be something that you consistently get in your runs, or try to anyways, because dealing with armor is a big thing in this game. This is like another general thing of advice, is to focus on getting some form of mana regen in the game. All the boons have something to offer that, much better than others. It's a very strong one that you have to sacrifice 20% of your life for the entire run. His new favorite has been Aphrodite.
Ooh, mommy.
As she will apply weak to one target, and as long as you're near that target, you'll get mana regen. Here's an example of the Wand of Eos aspect. Just it's a little cool. It's more of an attack based style, and you will be able to shoot out a Daybreaker as long as you channel your Omega attack, which you will be doing constantly. The big ghostly thing that just kind of lingers for a while, just randomly exploding. It's pretty neat, pretty strong. Have fun dancing around and flame on. But not least, we have the Ardent Skull, our range focus weapon. Makes you shoot a bunch of skulls out and then having to collect them to get your ammo back. Similar to the rail in the first game where you had to reload. Except now you gotta run over and pick up your skulls to get your ammo back. Like I said, it is always great to have ranged options in these games. It allows you to kite very effectively using your cast and just kind of doing more like hit and runs, picking up your skulls again, and just keeping the distance going. Your special or mega special charged up can be very effective at doing some good AoE damage and getting a chance to go dash in to get your skulls back. Lots of boons are fantastic for it. I like having Hitch on my special as it does a lot of AoE damage. If not the case, maybe Demeter for your special, and anything really can augment your attack. I chose Big Daddy Zeus.
Oh yeah.
There are a ton of good Daedalus upgrades for this weapon. Having more shells makes the aspect of Melenoe work a lot better once you get that going, as you will be doing more damage based on the amount of shells that you've used. So you get more shells, more damage. And the melting special is also really good because you'll be dealing with armor opponents quite often. Or if you're just feeling lazy, take the upgrade that allows you to not have to go pick up your skulls. Honestly, this weapon feels great. It's a little basic, but it gets the job done. The other aspects tend to focus a lot more on the dashing side using the special, which is a little more risky, but it is a lot more fun. Just make sure you play safe, play to survive, and just keep kiting. And again, a lot of good boons go well with this. You get a good mix. Always try to have maybe some form of CC, such as Demeter, but hey, you do you at the end of the day. Both other aspects, Medea and Persephone, really rely on doing special for doing like crazy charges. Medea, you don't actually fire the skulls out, you charge them at your side and you dash or use your special to detonate them or wait 3 seconds, which, dashing seems a little bit better. But either way you play, just be safe, make sure you keep track of where your ammo is. I tend to lose the ammo quite a bit here and there. It will eventually come back, but yeah, just play it safe. Again, these were just simple and easy to use suggestions if you're starting out and wonder what to go for. Any little bit helps, right? And here's a little bonus talking about Arcanas and Heirlooms. See, the channel move, this is the one you start with, is very strong. I use it consistently throughout my runs. It is definitely hands down one of the best ones you can get for how cheap it is. This is one of the best ones you can have. Yeah, so as long as you're not max mana, everything does more. It's great. This is another fantastic one. Anything that's locked in your cast takes extra damage, just straight up. And then you got some basic ones like health and mana, more mana regen. Just activates, I don't know, it's alright. You take 1 less hit. It's not the best, but I have it set for my 5 row for this buff to be activated, so you have a chance to get epic buffs. And same with excellence, 50% chance to have it to be improved to rare. A very crucial one is the Death Defiance. Like, I don't think I'd ever turn this one off. So this one you can potentially get going if it goes to 5. So 15, you'll get 15 total plus your original 3, so 18, which is actually better. But again, that takes a little bit to upgrade, but it's not terrible. Anyways, yeah, that's my talk on Arcanas. Okay, these are the Momentos. So there's quite a few that stand out. I use the knuckle bones early to try to, test out guardians and stuff. It's best if you are struggling with a boss, put it on in the area just before. Once you have that unlocked, you can get a free Death Defiance using the Luckier Tooth, which is from good old Skelemius. Other ones, Evil Eye is very good. Nemesis gives this one. anything that has defeated you in the last night, you'll get more damage against it, which is very good. Buff you're particular to. I started out with Zeus. Once I got Hera, that was a big one that I just constantly use, so I leveled that up very fast. Demeter is also one that I would recommend for most weapons. As with Demeter and Hera, they give you a flat percentage of special or attack damage, which is very strong, plus their effect. Apollo has some good AoE ones. Hephaestus I really did enjoy as well. Like, he's got really good burst. It does really good chunks to armor. Very good against armor. Gives you defensive buffs. Scorch I feel like is a little underwhelming, but it is still like a very strong effect, especially you can stack it up very fast, like either with a strong cast, or my preferred thing with her is to get the dash ability, which destroys projectiles. Blackened Fleece, this is from Medea, which you'll find going the upper path towards the Mount Olympus. She's a random encounter chance, and I definitely recommend having a nectar for her, and it gives you the Black Fleece. So once you've taken damage in your run, it doesn't matter how long you can use this at the end of the game, it'll keep your damage tracked the entire time. Once you get to 250 damage, it'll make all your Omega moves stronger. So I often use this for my finale. So nothing really stands out too much, but yeah, definitely upgrading the boons is a good priority. Black Fleece once you can get it, and then maybe if you're starting off using the Knuckle Bones or the Luckier Tooth. Anyways, that'll just do it for me. Hope any of this helps in any way, shape, or form. Even if it's just one person, it does not matter to me. I'm having a ton of fun with Hades too, and I look forward to playing a lot more, especially once it's fully released. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more great content, and good luck killing time.